been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
What is up, guys? We are back and running again. It seems like it's been forever and a day, but life happens, and we had a big move, and Ty's down there beaching himself, and Aaron's doing his thing. Welcome back, guys.
I wish I was
Welcome
beaching
back.
myself, man. I actually hit the beach for the first time Saturday in what was probably 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, man. You just don't get just because I live near the water doesn't mean I go all the time, man. I'm a busy guy,
I can honestly say I missed you guys. It's been a while, and
Aw.
I really did. I was a little disappointed. My 65-inch TV did not make the trip very well. I plugged it in, and it had the big black screen with like someone punched the middle of it, like it's broken.
Did you put some bubble wrap on it?
It was wrapped. It was all well. Everything was great. It didn't make the trip, so I took that bad boy to the dump and got my brand new 65-inch TV all up and running, ready to go.
Curved? What'd you go with?
No, I just went with the Vizio 65-inch 4K, LED smart TV. They got all those QLEDs that cost like $2,000 and all these like new TVs. You don't even know what the hell they do. That's different. And it's just like, just give me something that's good. And I tell you what, of all the TVs I've ever had, this is the loudest TV I've ever had. It seems like the sound on TV sucks anymore.
Yep.
But this TV is amazing. Great picture, great sound, just overall great.
I see you turn my room in Colorado into a little workout podcast room.
Absolutely.
Does he get a room? Hold up. Does Ty get a room?
I need it there.
This is the visitor's room. This is the Airbnb room that charges $1,000 a night.
Jeez.
But that's a sweet setup. Describe the room for all the listeners, because I think that's sweet what you've done to it.
This is just basically it's an extra room. Has a lot of closet space in it. I put my weight bench in it. I put my wife's stuff in here as far as what she does with the computer, and I have one bench. And I just kind of simplified. I didn't put all the dust collecting jerseys. I put Ty Saints
poster.
I put his Saints sign up. I put my Zeke thing up, and I'm just simplifying. I got a lot of stuff put in storage. The more you have out, the more you have to dust.
Oh, good point.
But you know what? It's really amazing out here. I love watching Yankee games at like 5 o'clock. I love that. I love the fact that the game's over at like 8. And
must be nice, man.
It's really nice.
I watched the whole Yankees game the other night, and I was texting Noah through the whole thing. I was like, maybe you want to play MLB the show? Yeah, after the Yankees game, I'm like, bro, it's 10 o'clock my time. It's 8 o'clock your time. Like, there's a big difference.
It is.
I'm ready for bed now.
Nice. That is so nice. It really is. Like Cowboys preseason games come on in the afternoon, like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just, it's really nice.
I'll be in the new year before you guys though. So when 2023 comes down, it's like I'm time traveling.
That's all right. I can watch yours live and then watch mine.
I was gonna say he gets more fun. You can watch all 3 time zones before.
But this whole thing has been a true blessing. I love Colorado. I love everything about it. It kind of sucked in the beginning, just sleeping on an air mattress with nothing here. And then once we got everything out of the truck and unloaded and with minimal damage, thank God, it's home now. And I love it. We have Laurie State Park, which is like 15 minutes away. We have Horsetooth Reservoir, which is 5 minutes away. We went up and watched sunset the other night there, my wife and I.
And saw black bear.
I went fishing for the first time and saw my first wild black bear, which was literally 25 feet from me, and it stood up, and it was interesting. Yesterday we did a hike up in Laurie State Park, and hiking here is amazing because you go up in the elevation and you can literally see Wyoming, you can literally see Denver Airport, you can see for 70 plus miles in every direction. And on the backside of the mountain, eventually there'll be snow covered. Like Pikes Peak got snow the other day.
Wow.
It's 90 degrees here, but Pikes Peak got snow. I mean, that's how crazy it is.
It's that warm.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. It's so beautiful. And the scary thing is being out in the woods, and you don't have any. There's a lot of people hiking, but you don't see them, and that there's mountain lions, there's bear. There's elk, there's deer, there's moose, there's buffalo, now they have wolf packs that they brought back in.
Start carrying.
It's a scary
Oh,
feeling,
wow.
but I love it. I love everything about it. This has been a great move. And I can't wait to spend my next 50 years here.
50
Aw.
years. I mean,
Aw.
sheesh, maybe like 100
God,
something.
I'd love to live another 50 years at this rate.
Hey, that's what I'm shooting for. But whatever God gives me, He'll give me. So we'll see. I just could live every day to its fullest.
Mm-hmm.
All we could do.
God, black bears would freak the heck out of me.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
I'd seen them on the driving, like I was in a vehicle at least. So
I ain't gonna lie. Like
About it.
we were up on the Poudre River and we were fishing and we were in brush. Like the brush is higher than us, and you walk through like little paths. It's almost like you're in Alaska. It's crazy. You walk in these little paths and you get down to the creek and you're fishing. And we came out and there's a guy standing on the trail and he's like, we're like, hey, what's up? He's like, there's a bear right there. And I don't know if she has cubs. And in my mind, the first thing I thought, well, is I can outrun this guy and I can outrun that guy. So I'm not getting attacked.
Unless she
But-
comes after you.
Thank God it was, and I have a great video of it. The bear went across the creek and you couldn't see it because the bushes are so big. But she stood up on the other side of the river as to look at us. And when she stood up, man, I got a good video of her, and her whole face was black. I never seen a bear with a black like muzzle and stuff.
Was it Bigfoot?
No, that was no Bigfoot.
it
But
was
beautiful. And the amazing thing is, like she went up over the top of this. Like after she looked at us for a while, she went up over the top of this bluff. And like 5 minutes later, we're walking. You see her like almost a mile up the mountain. I mean, she's moving, she's hauling ass. I mean, it would take me 2 hours to get to where she was. And just like that, she's gone. You know, it's just great.
big
That's
old
crazy.
thighs.
Yeah.
You know, they're so muscular no matter where.
Yeah, you should
But
go
there-
out there one night though and try and hear some Bigfoot calls.
Oh,
But it's so
X-ray
nice here.
vision.
You know, we're literally,
I'm gonna come visit soon.
Oh, dude, I'm like right on CSU's campus. I'm literally blocks away. We actually have fraternities right behind us, like female fraternities.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
CSU actually.
he's
Say no
CS
more.
Yeah, Hayes, come on. They can stay here for a couple
I'll be a new
weeks.
student.
Yeah.
hey, you look like a teacher.
CSU plays Michigan opening day, so that's going to be interesting. But
Really? Wow.
yeah, it's great, man. I
Holy.
mean, every Tuesday night, I mean, you literally walk, and I don't want to keep talking about this. Isn't the podcast of Colorado, but
Yeah.
you literally walk a half a block to my right, and you're in City Park, and it has a huge lake. It has walking paths. It has like acreage of land where people rent out places to play volleyball. And every Tuesday night, they have all the food trucks in the area come and they close off the streets in there and they have food trucks lined up. And it's just, there's music playing, there's bands playing, and there's all college kids hanging out. And it's just a great time. It really is. It's been a true blessing, and I love
Smoking
it.
some of that marijuana.
No, you're not
Oh, I
allowed to do
bet.
that in public, dude. It's not like that. It's not like, but the thing is, the thing
Oh.
that's interesting in Colorado is women do not have to wear shirts. They can walk around topless with their tits out.
When you say they don't have to wear shirts,
They don't have to wear shirts or bras. It is legal in the state of
I wonder if
Colorado
I
to
saw
walk
that.
around with their stuff hanging out.
have you seen that,
I
or
was-
is that not?
No,
common?
no. It's not common, but in Colorado, down in Denver, it's more common. You see, it's more prevalent everywhere. But up here, they
Really?
now
That's interesting.
legalize it. You can walk down the street with your nips out.
I wouldn't want to me that's
I
not like a
mean-
statement, right? Like I wouldn't want to walk naked.
Yeah, because
Well, you're not walking naked. but-
California, freaking San Francisco basically has that, and the homeless people are the ones that are flashing. You want to see
Yeah.
those? No.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I want to see it.
So,
No, I don't smoke weed,
ugh.
but I know for a fact the weed out here
Oh,
is
whack.
cheaper and more potent than the weed back in Pennsylvania.
Yee doggy.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, but it's
Cool.
awesome out here. It's been a true blessing, like I said.
All right, yeah. Oh, before we lull y'all to sleep with beautiful nighttime stories in Colorado, because I honestly, the sunset is freaking amazing. Having a picnic up there. Either way, where do we start? NFL preseason thoughts so far?
Yeah, we could do that, and then we could do the fantasy thing that you had.
dive into the. Okay,
Yeah, man.
we'll let it run from there. Probably hit on some Yankees talk and
Yeah. We could talk about some
So on.
Yankees. Talk about Gary
We got
Sanchez
we,
and the
we
bad
definitely got
212.
definitely got to talk about. Who did you say? Gary Sanchez buying 212.
did-
You know, Aaron Judge just came out of a
Uh,
4 for 32 slump.
And he's still batting 294.
Yeah, who's Well, here, And NFL, we'll start there. I'm more excited about them than the Twins right now, anyway. So,
well, NFL number one. Let's talk about the whole Aaron Donald thing that we were talking before we came on the podcast. How you have a video of the end of the fight, basically, where you can see Aaron Donald has two of the Bengals. Well, number one, you just see helmets swinging like someone's swinging freaking hammers over there, and you see him get pushed to the ground. He's got two helmets in his hand, so obviously you could see.
dude, yeah.
That Aaron Donald was out there swinging some helmets, and I asked you guys the question, do you think he gets suspended or some kind of punishment for that? I mean, you could clearly tell he was doing something.
It all depends. It all depends if he hits somebody.
I mean, clearly he was hitting somebody, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
looked
know.
like he was.
Look, first of all, both coaches made no big deal about it. They did not let players to go talk to the media at all. So they're covering something up, but again, I don't know. I don't know if he hit somebody.
Yeah.
If he did hit somebody, it's going to come out. If he hit somebody, obviously it should be suspension. I mean, there are officials there, so there are NFL officials on the field, but I don't know. I mean, what's the NFL going to do? What have they done with Alvin Kamara?
I mean, but no,
yeah,
but
we don't know
think
what
about,
the rules are either.
Yeah, but
Who
you think
knows what
about
the rules are?
Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett swung Mason Rudolph's helmet right into him, and he got suspended for a couple of games, didn't he? Or
in
was
a
it one
game live on television. I mean, this is a closed practice. I mean, so again,
I mean, it wasn't closed practice, right? There's fans recording.
I'm just saying it was a practice, and it was.
I mean,
basically whatever it is.
What do they think's going to happen? They freaking just played in the Super Bowl. Like, come on.
That's another good question too, right?
Why did they even pair? That's so dumb.
Like, there's a lot of people saying, like, should they even have joint practice anymore? Because there's been so many fights.
I don't know.
I think I think it's good, right? I think it's good because you see how your team is competing, how their team's competing, and
Donald kind of seems like he's got a twitch where he just goes crazy when he's on the field, and he can just
like he's always fighting.
Turn it off. Yeah, something's up with that.
But see,
this
I
isn't
think
the first time.
This isn't the first time. No.
I think the problem with joint practices is you see joint practices more and more. That's why you don't see starters in preseason games. These guys are going like Matt Stafford wasn't even involved with that. Matt Stafford was on another field going against Cincinnati's #1 defense. So that's why you don't see Dak in preseason games. That's why you're not seeing all these quarterbacks in preseason games. Like the Cowboys, they played the Chargers all week last week in scrimmages before they actually played them in a preseason game. So Dak Prescott went against their defense and stuff like that. I think, and eventually what's going to happen is you're not going to see preseason at all anymore.
Really? So you think it'll be, well, if that's the case, they're going to expand it to 18 games and likely do away. I think they still have to have inter-squad scrimmages. I think no matter what, that gets you kind of ready for like the actual game. Maybe that's what they do. They just schedule maybe a few more of those to get into the season.
Well, you think about it,
there's too much money. Don't you think they still make money? A lot of money off these games anyway.
Yeah, some stadiums, get a lot of, like Green Bay. When Green Bay was playing New Orleans, like, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Noah
they
went
can't
to the Denver
cancel
game.
That.
Noah went to the Denver Cowboys game. Not one Cowboys starter played, and he had seats right off 5 rows off the field.
Oh,
and
that's sweet.
I could have went, but the thing is I'm not paying basically full price for a ticket to go see non-starters.
It's still cool. I've never been to a professional football game.
Yeah, same. I've been to college.
I've been to college. Yeah, I've never been to a professional. It's on my bucket list though. I've been in the Saints Stadium, just the gift shop, but I've never been like actually like in the stadium to watch a game.
I've been to college. I've been to pro. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've been to baseball. I've been to minor leagues. I've been to hockey. Been to basketball.
Can you tell who's the oldest?
Live your life. Go do it.
I want to do it.
But I think
the
Super
Bowl
about it, though,
is impossible though, and even World Series is expensive.
Bro, yeah, I was looking at Tampa Bay Buccaneer games versus the Saints because it's only like a 2-hour drive, man. And the cheapest ticket was almost $200. That's all in nosebleeds.
Yeah,
I was like, geez, man,
do it.
$200, man.
That's like a day or two of work.
Just to sit the top.
Like, that's a day.
But then I'm gonna tell you something.
When I was going to go to the Saints and Jets game, man, it was like $30.
I'm going to tell you something. Sitting up top is not as bad as you think. Just because you look on TV and it looks like you're so far away, you're really not. You see a lot from up top. No, you're not. You've never been there, so you don't know. I sat all the way at the top for the Superdome for the Super Bowl. You saw everything.
Don't get me wrong. You'll see everything. It's just be small.
Games. It's not like that. It's not like that. TV exaggerates that. It's not bad at
I've
all.
been in the
man.
nosebleeds for Sixers games. When I went to Penn State, we were
It
like
is bad for
like
basketball.
mid level, and like we were starting to get farther away. And I'm like, I personally don't want to sit in the nosebleeds. I want to sit a little
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah, it's honestly not bad.
I want to be able to see it a little better. I don't want to have to I mean, I already have glasses as it is. I don't want to have to be like on the edge of my seat trying to focus on what number was that. And then I look at the scoreboard and I'm just like, I might as well stay at home and watch it from the TV.
Look, I'm just gonna tell both you're both young. Live your life with no
Yep.
regrets, man. Live your life to the fullest. Go do things, man. Go see things because you only get one shot at life. But my thing is about the NFL is I think they're going to get rid of preseason. It's already down to 3. It went from 4 games to 3 games. You know, they're not doing as many padded practices anymore. I think they're just softening up the preseason because they don't want to see these multimillionaires get overworked and get hurt.
Yeah, the money is really growing in the league too. That's a good point.
And I don't
Above
think
all.
3 preseason games is going to make and break organizations. I just really don't. But I think, Ace, you're right. I think you're going to see more of inner scrimmages during practice. I think that's going to be the key. But unfortunately, you can't prevent injury. I mean, the Cowboys lost Lael Collins today till December. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, you know, Dak Prescott can just go out there in a contact drill, twist his knee and be done for the season. It's going to happen. I think.
Wait, not Collins, Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith, yes. I'm all over the place today. Tyron Smith is out for until December, and it's going to hurt the Cowboys. But what are you going to do?
Ace, who did the Vikings play last week, and how did you feel about the game?
Oh God, I should know this. Who did they scrimmage? 49ers? Yeah, I think it was the 49ers.
49ers.
They were scrimmaging. They didn't play that well. I mean, our starters didn't play. But as I don't think this was on before we started, but we were talking before the show, Ingram, Chris, you had some stats with Ingram, one of the Vikings players, is taking over the rookie, taking over potentially at right tackle. We have a need at center, which I had mentioned. JC Treader would have loved to have picked his ass up. Darisaw on the line. Our weakest point is the line, so we need them to be well to make sure that, you know, Vikes take home that division champ this year.
Well, like I said off the air,
print the t-shirts.
Yeah. Right tackle Jesse Davis.
We did not win that game though, Ty. Sorry.
No,
you know, those wins and losses don't matter.
They don't. Yeah.
Jesse Davis appears to be losing his starting job. He had a Pro Football Focus grade of 4.7, which is very, very poor. In that same game, they brought in rookie Ed Ingram, and he played 30 snaps. He had a Pro Football Focus grade of 87.3, which is near elite. He had an 84.4 run block and a 74.0 pass block. So they're saying with the new offensive line weapons that you guys have, they're saying Kirk Cousins is going to have another 43 plus 100-yard, 30 TD passing, which would be 3 seasons in a row. Kirk Cousins is going to have a great season.
It was cool. Kirk Cousins was on, you know, they're doing that top 100 NFL players on YouTube, and then they show you some clips and maybe some mic'd up clips, and he was on there. I watched his clip, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool seeing Kurt talk with his teammates, and he seems like a very smart guy, and a lot of his teammates seem to love him. Yeah. And they talk about how he gets a kind of bad rap and that they love him, and he seems
no
like
reason for no reason. Yeah,
no reason. I don't know why Kirk Cousins does. Yeah, I don't know why he does have bad rap. I guess not dissing Kurt, but it's not like he's had great success in the playoffs. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, but he puts up great stats. It's just he needs to get over that hump and take him further into the playoffs.
The biggest thing is the defense, and we've notoriously had a weak offensive line. It's in God, we had Steve Hutchinson, Matt Burke, a couple other guys. When we had those guys, we were solid up front, but that's kind of become a weaker. And so what happens is in big time games, he gets pressure. He can't move that much. He's been able to, he's gotten bigger. Like, one of the cool things about Kirky coming into the year is he's gotten bigger this year, it looks like. So maybe he's a little more mobile, can turn the pocket if he needs to, but usually he doesn't.
Speed. He's got speed.
Yeah, but he doesn't really use it that much. He'll normally just kind of drop back and just flail one out of bounds instead of taking the sack. But it's kind of like Brady to a sense, where, you know, you can, if you can get pressure up the middle you're not worried too much on the outsides, but he's jacked. I
Yeah.
mentioned that before earlier.
Yeah.
He's gonna run.
Yeah. Well, the Saints are 0-2 in the preseason. But
It doesn't matter.
I'm not worried at all because I've seen some really good stuff that I like. Like I'll watch the first half in depthly, and then like the second half, I kind of like we'll turn it on and off. I cannot wait for this defense. I mean, I haven't even seen Tyrann Mathieu play, but our defensive starters when they're out there for like that first drive and have 2 drives, there's so many. There's even the backups are playing great. I mean, we haven't. It's not like we're giving up like home runs and like home run plays and a lot of yards. So our defense looks amazing. And I've seen some good young talent, like Chris Olave got his first touchdown. I'm off the Ian Book high wagon. You know, he got the whole game last week against the Packers, and I'm not shooting him. You know, maybe he can go off, and you know, there's obviously time where people can grow, but it's not like he's out there like Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett and making plays where you're like, oh man, like this guy, you know, he might have some. But Andy Dalton is clearly the backup. He played against the Texans in week 1 of the preseason, and he drove down the field like it was nothing. He looked great. I haven't seen Jarvis Landry play. I haven't seen Michael Thomas was dealing with a little bit of a hamstring injury, so they weren't playing him the rest of them because they want him to start week 1. Jameis is doing good. He's scrambling in practice and running and sliding. So that's really good to see him running after the whole ACL and everything. But I'm excited for preseason to be over with. We play tomorrow. We play the Chargers, and I'm hoping to see Jameis at least a little bit, maybe 1 drive, just to see what he looks like with the offense.
You know what frustrates me the most about this time of the year is your team could be undefeated in preseason, but you still don't know what you got.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? It's not like when I was younger, you know, like the first game was usually for rookies and stuff to play. The second game was kind of where they started getting like starters into it. And then the third and the fourth game, your starters played. Now, I have no idea what Minnesota is going to be. I have no idea what the Saints are going to be. I have no idea what Dallas is going to be. Unless you watch camp every day and you get inside information from Aaron Summers and all those people that are at camp every day, 105.3 The Fan, you really don't know what you have. And then even there against camp, your offense against your defense. If your defense sucks and your offense is good, of course your offense is going to look great. Yeah. But you still don't know what you have. I mean, Dallas's first 2 preseason games, we barely allowed 48 yards rushing in both games. Our rushing defense looks great, but our starters aren't on the field yet, so we don't know what we have.
And like you said too, you know, like times have changed. I mean, even you take 3 years ago, I mean, I would see Drew Brees start playing in the second game or third game, at least like 2 to 3 drives. But I guess when you have these contracts that are, you know, millions and millions of dollars, you know, it's like, why take the risk of my quarterback getting injured or my receiver getting injured? And then I got to pay him all this money to just sit the bench.
You know, Noah and I had this conversation yesterday when we were walking, and he's like, what do you think of the Cowboys? Well, what about the moves? You know, sure, everyone, all these professional commentators say, oh, the Cowboys had so many losses and they lost this and they lost this. Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper can't stay healthy and his numbers are going down. At the same token, we brought in all these new players. I don't know what these new players are going to do. I don't know what this team has until we hit that field in September, our first game against Tampa Bay. We're going to find out if we're good or we're bad.
Are you away for that game?
I think we're home this year. We played them away last year.
Hey, who's that rookie guy that you had that freaking put the lights out, man? He was a kick returner and punt return, and he went off.
Oh yeah,
his last name starts with like an A, I think.
I know, I can't remember his name. Yeah, we got him from the new league.
Oh,
no,
AFL.
not the XFL.
The USFL.
USFL. Yeah, he led the league in like receiving yards and return yards. And
I think he had a kickoff return touchdown. Then he went really far with a punt return. Like he returned. Brian tweeted out at him, and there was a bunch of people tweeting out at him.
He's the second fastest player in football right now with the 40 times.
You know what was cool? I know we're jumping around a little bit, but what was cool is just last thing I'm gonna say for the Saints is to see Taysom Hill out there in the field after all his injuries. He caught a screen pass, ran for like 11 yards. And he got interviewed too, and he said, I'll be honest, like this isn't something I want. But I want the best for this team, and if that's me being out there on the field, which it is, like in hindsight, right? As much as you want to be a quarterback, man, like you on the field for us is a dual threat option. His record as a quarterback though is like 7-2 or something. Like he has like barely any losses. He just doesn't put the numbers up.
You know, the one thing I'm surprised you didn't talk about is your punter who had an 81-yard punt And the first thing the NFL did was call him in for a fucking piss test.
Did you see
they
the
wanted
text
to check him for
message?
PEDs.
The text message was, "Hey, this is a random drug that random. Yeah, after hit an 81-yard punt. How about that though? 81-yard punt.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys.
That's
Have you guys been
incredible.
watching Hard Knocks?
No.
Gosh,
I
you
just
guys are
got my
missing
TV
out.
hooked up.
I'll tell you what, you guys have to watch it. The Detroit's head coach, dude. Number one, he is
It's
massive.
fascinating.
He is massive, and he has that room under control, man. Like I was watching a video the other day on like an inside view, like that with Carolina, and I was watching Matt Rule talk to his team. I was like, bro, this guy's a clown. And then you go up there and you watch the Detroit's coach, and you're like, bro, this guy, like he talks. His hat kind of leans a little back when he's talking, and he talks with he's a buff man. He's talking real deep, and he's dropping the F-bomb like every 5 seconds. And bro, he gets them fired. He's got a good coaching staff in there too. Like these guys, man. I'm telling you,
they all played, right?
They all played. HBO Max, if you have it, you have to watch it. Like I usually watch like the first episode of Hard Knocks, and then I kind of lose interest and I stop watching it. This one is like he is changing the culture there.
It's
like
must see.
even like they it's slowly making me a Detroit fan, like to just to watch Detroit, like not a fan of Detroit, but just like I want to see their games and see how they're playing because they look good.
That's a great review. And honestly, I'm gonna, because of Ty, I'm checking it out.
You got to
watch it.
It's
I still gotta finish. I still gotta finish the Derek Jeter documentary.
I haven't even started it.
That's freaking amazing too.
It's only on ESPN Plus, so I don't have that.
Oh, I don't have that either. Come on, what?
You
Sure
know
it's
the
a large subscriber base, but still.
No.
You know the bad thing about being out here though is like a lot of the shows that I watched on the East Coast, I do forget about the time change, and I go to watch it and like it's over. Like this morning, I woke up and I wanted to watch Sports Center, and it was already in the first fake, so I missed out on it.
I think on YouTube TV you can start to record stuff now, so you have to check that out.
Oh, can you? Really,
yeah, man? Yeah.
That's
What is the most concerning thing for each of you as far as your NFL team goes?
Man,
well, I already said it. I think the offensive line.
I don't think that's going to be your problem, dude.
Well, I mean, we got rid of our punter too, so maybe it's special teams.
I think for me, it's just, I'm not going to say receivers. I feel like I want to say receivers, but like, I feel like if you can go 9-8 with the receivers we had last year, like you better do a lot better this year with the receivers. I think it's just not seeing if Winston can play. It's just seeing how is he with his leg, like people the year after an injury like that, it's like sometimes they're slower and don't play as well, but also you could be like Joe Burrow and just turn it around and go to the Super Bowl, right? I think everyone can think that now, right? Like you look at the Bengals, how they had like 2 wins, and then next they go to the Super Bowl literally the next year. And
Jameis doesn't lack in confidence either.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what, that's one thing that's really shocking me is the maturity and the way he's talking lately. It's a completely like not young, cocky looking Jameis who speaks just stupidly out of his mouth. Like he's funny, and he's also, you can see the pride he has in the game, and it fires me up. I'm ready. I want to see him play.
I think, and I'm going to just say this for each of you guys. I think as far as the Saints go, I think it's going to be, does Alvin Kamara get suspended? That's huge if he does. Timing between Winston and his receivers is going to be crucial. And now that Michael Thomas has a hamstring, you got to get that timing down. If they can get timing down and they can get their routes figured out, and I think the Saints are going to be fine. Their defense is going to be a freaking stud defense again.
Could you imagine making Taysom Hill a running back if like Alvin Kamara gets suspended? Like just throw Taysom in there.
Yeah, I think Minnesota, and I keep saying Minnesota is going to win the North. I think the most important thing for Minnesota is, can Thielen stay healthy and can Cook stay healthy? I think if you guys get a great running game going, and you force teams not to float back and double team JJ, I think they're gonna be great. I think you guys are gonna be fine, and I think defensively you're gonna be great too. I mean, how's Booth? Booth did get hurt. Is he okay now?
Booth.
Your draft pick.
What position he plays?
You're a cornerback. Your draft pick.
Cornerback. Yeah, I knew that. He's fine. I'm not in that mode right now. I'm trying to finish up. I'm having people over in like the next couple of weeks, and I want to have my house finished.
I honestly think, though, I think the Saints. Look, everyone already has Tom Brady going 12-5 and winning that division. And I just think
don't.
I
You gotta
don't
go
I
past
don't
Saints that
I
you can't
don't
beat.
I don't I honestly
Yeah,
don't think
that could be two losses already in the division.
yeah. I just think it's going to be a lot tougher than people think. I think that I don't think Tampa Bay is as good as they were. I mean, I think a lot of luck got them through the Super Bowl. It really was. It was a hot streak during the
Ooh.
playoffs, and that's what got them going.
And I'm sorry, I think Baker's good. I know we talked about that on here earlier, but I don't think the Panthers have a team built around him that's going to be like, oh, like that's scary. I think I think the Atlanta's going to shock some people. I know Ace was saying Atlanta's not going to be good, but Atlanta for some reason I don't know.
Shock and get the number one pick.
Yeah. They'll be competing with Detroit.
And as far as the Saints timing, I think the Saints timing's great. You know, when Michael Thomas was out there running routes, you see him doing his little tiptoes in the end zone with Jameis Winston scoring some touchdowns and flexing those muscles up. And Jarvis looks great with his one-handed catches, man. So I'm pumped.
What about the Cowboys? Chris, worst thing. I mean, honestly, it could have been smart technically just going down.
No, I don't. I honestly, I don't think. No,
let's go down the list.
Look, I just complimented your team, you dick, and I just gave you guys both good compliments, saying
I like Dak. Dak.
No, honestly, let's face it. That loss today with Tyron Smith, it's gonna hurt.
What happened?
Something, some kind of break in his knee.
Oh man, so is he out all year?
He's out till December. I actually wrote it down somewhere, but it starts with an A. I don't know, but it's huge. But the problem with Tyron Smith is he's 32 years old. He missed a bunch of games last year and the year before.
I think the money.
I think the key, Dallas is going to have a great defense. I think we're going to have a good defense, not possibly on the Saints level, but I think if we fill the holes in the middle, we'll be fine. Anthony Barr is going to be a stud for us. Thank you very much, Ace, for that. I just think offensively, if we can't get a running game going and we just put it in Dak's hands with a broken offensive line, we're in trouble. And I already projected that the Eagles are going to win that division way back when I was still in Pennsylvania. I don't know. And the problem is you don't know. I won't know until I get a feel for them against Tampa Bay week 1. I don't know. Everyone's saying Zeke's in great shape. It looks the best he's ever been. But,
what do the fans think about their decisions this offseason? Because you let Cooper go, you let Collins.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Cooper going.
Really?
Collins is the one that kind of stings a little bit because I think Collins' problem was the whole drug test thing, and Jerry Jones didn't like that, so they found a way to get rid of him. Although since Collins has been in Cincinnati, Collins has been in 3 fights. He's the one that actually started that brawl today.
They just haven't done much. They've lost pieces similar to the God, I can't.
Well, CeeDee Lamb's going to be fine. Michael Gallup, they didn't put him on the PUP list, which is great. So he might miss the first game, and that's it. We picked up that guy from
fantasy. I took him as a risk.
We got Jalen Tolbert, who is going to be a starter in the NFL. Jalen Tolbert is a great receiver. Offensively, as far as weapons go, I think we're going to be okay. Dak likes to throw down, check down to Schultz, his tight ends. CD's going to be great. The key is going to be Zeke. Last year Zeke got hurt, and they still played him hurt. They should have pulled him out and played Pollard more. And if our offensive line holds up and we have $18 million in cap space, if we go pick up another left tackle or a left guard and put Tyler Smith out the left tackle, I think we'll be okay. We've been doing well running the ball in preseason, but then again, you're going against number 2s and 3s defensively on other teams.
Yeah.
They have us projected for a 9-8 season, but I don't like projections, because you're going off of let's face it, Amari Cooper.
Let's get into that.
Amari Cooper, I mean, he's injured. He didn't have his best year last year. His numbers were declining. So I don't think Amari Cooper is a make or break receiver. I think we have other weapons that can get the job done. They're talking about using Pollard in the slot more as a slot receiver because he did that in college, which was going to help. He's elusive. He's good. Kicking, I think we brought Brett Maher back, who we had 2 years ago, and it was horrible. We cut him. We picked up 2 kickers in the off. We picked up 2 kickers in the off season. One we drafted, and we ended up cutting them. Which when your son when your son's the GM and the owner, I don't know. We need a real GM. That's the point. We need a real GM. The Cowboys are Jones land. They got Jerry Jones's family tied up and down that line of roles in that organization. And what are you going to do, man? You don't have a real GM to freaking make the picks and spend. I mean, you're sitting on almost $20 million in cap space. I mean, you got Ndamukong you got Ndamukong Suh out there. You got a lot of offensive linemen that are still free agents. I mean, you have OBJ who's still a free agent, which I think him and the Rams still have a deal going. But
yeah, that's what I think too. Or else he'd be nice to pick up.
I'd
But
love
you're
him
right.
on
They're
the
short
Saints,
on
but
cash.
there's no room. There's no
Yeah,
room.
Cowboys are tough on cap. Same with the Vikes. They got some contracts coming up here. That's why, especially with Kirk's deal.
But if you want to
let's
go
go
over
the win projections quick.
All right, the win projections right now in the North,
or for our teams, and then the division maybe.
Okay, in your division, they have your team 10-7, which is okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know whether
I'll take a
getting
10-7 season.
I'll take the over.
But
I'll take that too.
Now I've seen two different ones. I've seen one where they had the Minnesota Vikings winning 11 games, but this one they had them winning 10. They had the Cowboys going 9-8. I've seen projections where they had them win 11 games.
There's the Cowboys going 9-8.
9-8. And I saw another one where they had them going 11. They had 11 wins. Denver. I mean, not Denver. I had Denver written down because I'm in Denver now. But they had the Saints going 8-9, which I totally do not agree with. They have. This is how sad it is.
Someone told me that makes sense.
They have Tampa Bay winning the division by 4 games.
That doesn't make. How you gonna? What'd you say? 8-8, 8-9.
8-9.
How you gonna go 8-9 with a starting quarterback when we had 3 quarterbacks last year? We went 9-8.
No, I don't. And Jameis Winston was 5-2 when he got hurt.
5-2. Like, how does that make sense with no receivers?
Yeah, I just
one of the best defenses. It's
who's getting paid to do this? Because clearly it's not us.
Well, there's so-called professional professional people that think they know everything about football because like the game hasn't changed since they played. You know what I mean?
I would take the over on the Saints and the Vikes, and unfortunately take the under on the.
Yeah, Ty. If you have $100, go put it on the Saints, man, right now.
Just predict the Saints will make the playoffs.
But they have, and this is what blows me away. Aaron Rodgers lost how many weapons on offense and defense, and they have them going 11-6, winning the division.
Who did you get this from? Is this from ESPN? Is this from Pro Football Focus? Like, because someone needs to write a complaint.
Yeah, we need to.
These people suck.
For crediting, we need to give source.
They have the Chicago Bears finishing dead last at 3-14. They have Detroit going 7-10.
Wow.
They had Minnesota finishing second at 10-7, which I think Minnesota is going to win 11 or 12 games, honestly.
Our offense is better than the Packers. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, Rodgers is the GOAT, but or not the GOAT.
They have Tampa Bay.
I mean.
Tampa Bay going 12-5. The Saints going 8-9. Atlanta going 5-12, and Carolina going 5-12. They have the Eagles winning the division at 10-7, which I think. I honestly think, and I hate the freaking Eagles. But I think what they did in the offseason and during the draft, I think the Eagles
are that big boy up front. That defensive line is dangerous.
Dude, I think the Eagles are going to win a division, and I think
you pancake that offensive line in that video.
I think the Eagles are going to win a division by 2 games. I think they're going to. That's really do.
I'm going to the Eagles games,
but they haven't gone 10-7, which I don't agree with. They have Dallas going 9-8. They have the Washington Redskins going 9-8, and they have the Giants going 5-12. The Giants are a quarterback away. If the Giants get a good quarterback,
Daniel.
They just lost another receiver.
Bye.
Yeah.
Vikings realistic. Sorry,
no, Chris, you're good.
Vikings realistically could start 1-3. We play the Packers at Philly Monday night. You can't tell me they're going to be ramped up. Then Detroit and then New Orleans. We play the Saints week 4 in London. That's going to be
that London game.
A crapshoot.
That's going to be like
I actually see Minnesota going. What would you say? Would you have Maz?
You said 1-3.
Green Bay, Philly.
1-3
on that.
I have missed 3-1.
Really? So you think
they're going to beat Green Bay?
Who do they?
Aaron Rodgers is so frustrated with his receiving core right now that he's having freaking meetings with them because
week 1. Yeah, good point. Good point.
They got dominated by the Saints week 1 last year too.
I hope they beat Philly, so I have them winning Philly because you need to help us out. The only team I have them losing to is the Saints. because the Saints
Okay.
defense. And that's a coin toss.
Yeah, we should beat Detroit.
Oh,
Yo,
God,
could you
yeah.
imagine? Could you imagine? Obviously, I don't think this is gonna happen, but could you imagine Detroit had pulled a Joe Burrow, and while they're on Hard Knocks, they made a run to the Super Bowl like this magnificent season, and it was all captured on TV.
What are their odds? Their odds got to be astronomical.
Absolutely. But could you just imagine that
Wow.
would probably be the best Hard Knocks in the history of football.
I mean, that's how
Yeah.
you get foolish people to like, oh, you could win the lottery. Okay, go put some money on the Lions.
Lions.
Something stupid. I could.
Dude, they have enough people in this
Maybe.
world that work. They can do Hard Knocks on every team every season if they wanted to.
They pretty much do. I mean, like, dude, you know what makes me so mad is you see all these cool videos. Like I've seen them on Atlanta, I've seen them on the Browns, the Carolina. Like they do this behind the scenes. Like they take videos of the guys practicing. People are mic'd up, and I'm like, bro, why don't the Saints ever do this stuff? I made a Twitter account today just to tweet at the Saints. I was like, yo, why y'all suck at making videos on YouTube? I was so mad. I was like, I want one of those videos.
Like, why doesn't the NFL just do an NFL
They do the
Hard
post-game.
Knocks?
Yeah.
Well,
Like
if I were
always
you.
do.
It's a money racket. You know, you have enough freaking camera guys that do NFL films. So why don't you just throw them in the camps and do a Hard Knocks on every single team? And if you want to buy that package, you buy that package.
They
Maybe I
said a lot of
That would be
time
kinda
goes
cool.
into though, like there's I heard that there's like hours and hours of footage just of one day with the Lions, and they have to cut that down into like 50 minutes or however long it is, and just go through
Yeah.
what you like and what you think's gonna please the crowd. And it probably is a hard thing to do.
Now, you know what I saw that was interesting? Let me find it quick in my notes.
Oh, and then we can talk about my top 3 fantasy players at each position.
Well, we got to talk about, of course, Derwin James, man. He's just got a huge freaking extension. And what did I talk about earlier in the season? I said, you know what? All these receivers are getting paid big bucks. You're going to start seeing cornerbacks and safeties wanting their money. Well, guess what? It's happening. Derwin James gets a 4-year, $76 million deal. Top paid safety. He's making $19.1 million a year on average. His
The guy from the
guaranteed
Chargers,
money,
right?
guaranteed money is $42 million. This is a list of the safeties now as far as money goes. The top safeties in the league. James is making 19.1. Minka Fitzpatrick is making 18.4. Jamal Adams, who's never healthy, is making 17.6. Harrison Smith is making 16. Justin Simmons is making 15.3. You know what that was? That was quarterback money 4 or 5 years ago. Now look at this is safeties. Cornerbacks are still making less than that. The market for cornerbacks is going to go through the roof. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But talking about contracts, in 2020, the Chiefs made Mahomes the highest paid quarterback in football. 2 years later, he's the 4th highest paid quarterback. He's been passed by so many different. The Chiefs are already talking about, and his deal is a what? It's a 10-year deal for $450 million. He can get 503 with incentives. They're already talking about sweetening his deal to make him back up to be the highest paid quarterback in football again. They did the same thing to the tight end, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce got a 3-year extension.
So you can do that with a longer contract too, though.
Oh, yeah. You just give him more guaranteed
push money.
Yeah,
you
yes.
push the rest down the road.
So they're already talking about making him the highest paid quarterback again 2 years after he just signed that deal. That's
I'll be honest.
crazy.
Like,
Did you guys hear Lamar? Did you guys hear Lamar wants a guaranteed? And obviously
he wants more than Kyler.
No, I think and what Watson probably.
Yeah, I mean,
because
Lamar, that's why the Browns ruined the market, man. I mean,
yeah.
How are you gonna? And then you have Kyler's deal.
He's not worth this. He's the second highest paid quarterback in football right now at 46.5 or something like that. Kyler Murray does not deserve that kind of.
I don't think Kyler deserved it, but also the Cardinals are in a stage where it's like Kyler definitely brought winning back to Arizona, so you kind of had to sign him or watch him walk away.
Only first half football, second half they just do not do it.
The thing with Lamar, though, I mean, Lamar's got the ball in his court because the Ravens are probably crying. I mean, especially with the Browns. I mean, Lamar is an MVP winner, gone to the playoffs. What has Kyler and Deshaun done over Lamar?
Yeah. And Lamar represents himself, though. Lamar don't have an agent.
He's sitting there like, I'm definitely getting more money than them. He's playing it great. Let all these other quarterbacks get money first because I've done more than them.
Yeah, but the problem is Lamar Jackson is a quarterback. He's not an agent. This Baltimore Ravens could just play this out and say, like, look, we get the best years out of him. Let him walk. You know what I mean?
Someone's gonna pay him.
but he doesn't have an agent tie. He represents himself. If he's not a good
So it's
job
gonna-
at doing contracts, guess what? If he doesn't know anything about the laws and intricacies of all these contracts, he's screwing himself.
He has to have management that's looking over the contract. You
He
know
does.
what I
His
mean? Like,
mom,
I'm assuming
his
Huh.
mother is it's it. It's him and his
Hey,
mom that are
some
negotiating.
people do it well though. Jacoby Brissett, man, he was
Huh.
representing himself, and he was able to get himself some good deals when he was a backup.
Look, honestly, do you have to be paid the highest quarterback in the NFL? I mean, would you not settle for $30 or $40 million and just say,
I would, but I mean, at the same time, if you have the option, obviously it's a sad world we live in, but if you are Lamar and you have the option, like, hey, like I'm better than those guys, and if you give me this money, my life's set, my kids are set, my mom's set, my family's set. You know what I mean? Like
at the end of the day, the best team wins the Super Bowl, not an individual. So
that's right. And if you can't live on $40 million, that's a you problem.
I'm not saying you can't,
Right.
but if I can get some more, I'm gonna get as much as I can.
yeah,
But
the quarterbacks screwed this up to begin with. Like,
absolutely. No, GM screwed this up. GM
yeah.
should have all just tied themselves together and said, no, we're not doing this.
yes, yep.
Because they opened Pandora's box.
Yep. And the thing is, the salary cap is going to keep going up. They already know that anyways. Or well, it's going to go up more because of COVID. Things are coming back around. Inflation,
TV
all
deal.
that stuff. TV deal, yeah. So, it's going to be insane. All right, let's jump into my fantasy stuff. For those that play, I think Kristen said you didn't, but I know Ty and I each have a team.
I retired as a champion.
Maybe I win twice in this league because it's a dynasty. First time I'm playing, you win twice. You collect like a large pot sum, but you have to win back-to-back years.
Look, you're good when both your kids call you and ask you for advice.
Ooh, I like that.
No,
See, I can't call my dad.
So I just wanted to call
My dad's a little older, hasn't played, but I'm sure he'd give good advice anyways. All right, everyone, draft these guys if you can. You're not going to be able to get them all, but get one. So it's top 3 each position, including defense and kicker. Quarterbacks, you guys. I forgot to mention. I'm going to have you guys guess. So quarterbacks. Now remember fantasy, so obviously it's not going to be like MVP.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna guess Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen,
You got 2 out of 3.
Burrow.
No, wait. You
Then
guess.
is
I'm gonna say Mahomes. I'm gonna say Josh Allen and Tom Brady.
No, it's Mahomes, Lamar, and it's
1 out of 3. You got 1 of the.
It's the guy from the Chargers. I can't think of his name.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're forgetting. Wait, what did you say? You said Mahomes.
I said
right?
Mahomes, Lamar, and Herbert. Josh Allen, Lamar, and Herbert.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson.
Allen. I thought. Well, okay, there are some. I think Wilson could have a good year. I think Mahomes could too, but who knows? Honestly, this is all just. This is literally.
I took
my
Jalen
research.
Hurts.
I didn't look up any other stats.
I took Jalen Hurts. I wanted Mahomes. He went, and then
Jalen Hurts is a good pick.
I thought, you know
Yeah.
what, Jalen Hurts, because Josh Allen was off the board too, and it was Lamar or Hurts. I was like, okay, who's got the better team
Ooh.
surrounding them? I was like, well, Hurts can run. It's a win-win no matter what, I feel like, but I just feel like Jalen Hurts is kind of having trying to like a prove it year.
Dude, he was second in rushing yards last year. Everyone
Yeah.
forgets that. He was second in rushing yards,
Jalen, wow.
and he was one of the most dangerous quarterbacks passing on the run.
I think they're going to ask him to stand in the pocket more, though, too. Hurts would be a sneaky pick to be in this top 5 QB fantasy, like
Yeah.
even top whatever. All right, running backs. I think you guys will like the last one in no particular order, but I got Cookie, barring, oh God, he needs to stay healthy, but I think they're going to use him less and give him a little more touches, hopefully. So Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, and Najee Harris.
Really?
Well,
What
that
about
never.
Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey,
that
Nick
offensive
Chubb.
line's-
Christian McCaffrey is the Trout of the NFL. He can never stay healthy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
I can't do Najee. You're right. Help me think of another guy because Najee.
you could do Najee. It's a PPR league.
But the
Najee's a
line
good
is-
answer.
Tony Pollard.
Not
Tony
Najee
Pollard.
gets the ball a lot though, as far as
They're going to
receiving.
use him. Look, Tony Pollard is going to be a
I'm
receiver
keeping
in the
Najee.
NFL. They're going to.
Screw it.
But
Tony
Pollard,
Pollard's
though?
going to get a lot of catches.
I would.
You got to remember something.
I would do Pollard
Everyone-
later in the
Everyone
run. If you needed
forgets
a running back.
Pollard led the NFL in yards when he got carries. He was averaging 5+, like 5.6 or something like that yards per carry last year. he was leading the NFL, but they didn't give him enough time
I
with the
think he
ball.
was leading for like the first 6 weeks, and they stopped feeding the ball, and so
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just saying he's a good fit. You know what the thing is? Ace
where-
is running back is hard because
Yep.
every team has multiple running backs that they use in different situations. You're never going to see a guy get 20 carries a game anymore.
Well, I think how Chubb and
I think Chubb and
Kareem Hunt
Henry-
are used.
Yes.
Yeah, or Henry too.
I
But,
think
just
Chubb
how
and
those
Henry
two
will
are
feed a
used.
lot. I think you'll see them get feed a
Who,
lot.
who's that other guy for
Yeah.
the Chargers that gets a lot?
Eckler.
Eckler. He gets a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
points.
Eckler would be
All
a
right.
good one.
Let's hear your receivers.
All right, receivers. I got JJ, Justin Jefferson, CD.
Of course,
and
you're like
Cooper Kupp.
Tyler. Draft your own
I-
team.
Hey, I threw
Man, bro,
CD
you're
in there. I
taking
threw
taking all
CD.
those guys over.
Yo,
Cooper
how many
Kupp,
guys were in
Jamar
this
Chase,
draft?
and Diggs?
No, I
How
added
many guy-
Cup, but
How many guys were in this draft that you got all those good receivers? Like five guys in this
no,
draft?
no, no. I'm just saying my like
Oh, okay.
in
I
my
thought that
head.
you had
I
your.
got if I drafted.
You taking
idiots.
Jamar Chase or JJ?
I mean,
I'm taking
Burrow,
Jamar Chase.
but I think when you're looking at like overall production, I think JJ could have more because he's the like Thielen's older. Burrows can throw to any one of those three. They're still in their prime. Whereas Thielen's more of a red zone target.
And
So
you
I
forgot
think
about
JJ
Diggs
can
too.
get more yards.
Forgot about Diggs too, man.
I
You know
well,
what's-
no,
you
I
know what's
thought of
amazing?
Diggs. Believe me,
You
I
just
thought
didn't
this
like it
was
because he
hard.
left.
No,
He left.
this was hard. This was a hard
Yo,
decision.
He left Minnesota, and you were like, "Screw him!
Yeah.
I'm not taking him."
Yo,
Especially
you got
with
that
JJ's
guy.
just as well.
You got
not
that
as-
no name from Detroit that had a great year last year.
St. Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
Who?
the thing about receiver is this is a passing league, man. You can go
Yeah,
up and
there's a
down every
lot.
roster and find steals. Jalen Tolbert for the Cowboys. You know, the Saints have rookie receivers
Well,
that are going to be good.
I'll keep this and see how
Who's
how
your
well
tight
I
end?
did at
You-
the
Did
end of the
you
year.
did you do tight
Oh, yeah,
ends?
tight ends. I got Kelsey. I think in terms of fantasy, especially with Hill leaving, they're gonna even though you double team them.
Absolutely.
he's
Hunter
gonna-
Hurst.
Ooh, that's a good one. But I got Darren Waller, and Mark Andrews.
Andrews all day. Yeah, Andrews is good too.
Yeah.
You also got Pitts
Um,
and Kittle.
Pitts, Kittle. Yep.
Schultz with the Cowboys.
Schultz actually was a very high fantasy
he?
production. He was
I'm-
like top.
I'm not-
He was top 3
Oh.
for picks.
Yeah.
Like if you were gonna pick him, he was like number 3.
Because
Oh,
you
I
know,
didn't know that.
Dak always
Dak
always
threw to
checks
him a
down.
lot. Yeah, Dak
Dak
threw to him a
always
lot.
checks down.
Okay. All right. Here's the sexy ones: defense and kicker.
Ooh,
Actually, I
gosh.
only have 2 kickers.
I feel like
Saints,
kicker
Bills.
get anywhere. You know, kicker-
Saints.
Saints and Bills.
Oh, I should have had. I got Broncos, Saints, and Chargers. But
Taking
honestly,
Broncos first, Ace. What is? Come
well,
on,
not
Ace.
first in no particular.
Well,
I'm
you
just-
said them first. That's what mattered. That's the first thought that came to your
Here, I'll
mind.
say them in alphabetical:
Yeah.
Broncos, Chargers,
Eagles,
Saints.
Eagles defense.
They were
There's a
saying
lot
the,
of good defense.
they were saying the Packers
there is.
defense too is pretty good this year.
They lost a lot though. I think
Yes.
they lost both Smiths.
Yeah,
I mean, they
we
were
got one
older,
of the
though.
Smiths.
Their defensive
The
line. They
Vikings.
drafted defensive linemen though in the first round though.
The Rams defense. The Rams defense is always good. Cowboys defense, Saints defense. Saints has to be in the top 2. Rams is probably in the
Yeah.
top
Do
2.
you know how happy that makes me?
Bills-
When I
They
growing
play
up,
indoors.
the Saints defense was always trash. Drew Brees had to put up 30 points for like until I got out of high school. You know what I mean? Like they had like I remember at one point they had literally the worst defense in the league, and I hated watching games. We were
Oh.
penalized so much.
Believe it or not, Tampa Bay has the best. It was either the best or second best run defense last year. It's just that their cornerbacks suck. So
Yeah.
if they fix their Tampa Bay defense, could be solid depending on what they did with their corners.
Yep.
Butker, Tucker, and the kicker for the Bills.
You know, it was
Those
a good one
guys.
too. Atlanta's kicker, Shoe,
Or-
whatever.
Oh, indoor stadium. Go with him instead. The Atlanta kicker.
Yeah, I picked
But-
him up one year as a steal.
Me too.
That Asian kicker,
I picked him up, but no one
he's
knew about
amazing.
him.
But you know what? You can pick up a new kicker every week. Seriously.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
You can't. Yep. And honestly, a lot of times with running back, quarterbacks, you might be able to luck. Well, no, never. Not quarterback, but depends how deep the league is. We don't want to get too deep into this conversation too. So
I forget who I was watching.
MLB pivot or
I was
Yeah,
watching
yeah, yeah.
NFL today, and they had kickers. I forget what team it was. They were practicing 63 yarders and nailing them in practice. I mean,
believe it,
you
man.
you never thought about that stuff. You never thought about
63? Holy crap.
you never thought about kickers practicing kicks like that. It's just
I remember when like a 50
Man, the-
yarder and
the
a
game's
45
changed,
yarder
man.
was like a deep field goal. Now it's like, all right, he's going for a 60 yarder. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean,
All
Gary
right,
Anderson missed like a 40. Well, yeah, we don't have to rehash.
MLB. Let me give you some around the horn notes real quick, and then we'll jump into our teams. Corey Dickerson has a 10 straight hit streak. It's the most since Altuve did it in 2018.
Who's he playing for?
Cincinnati, I believe. Dickerson is the 13th player with at least a hit in his at least 10 straight at bats during the expansion era. Dustin Pedroia and Bernie Williams are at the top of the list at 11 consecutive hits. We talked about this earlier. Mookie Betts adds his name to a very talented 2023 World Baseball Classic roster. Trout, Alonso, Goldschmidt, Story, Harper, Arenado, JT Realmuto, and Cedric Mullins are all players that are already on that team. I'd love to see Judge get on that team, but he never will.
It's contract here. Come on.
Top 5 playoff aces this year. Actually, the Mets have 2 of them, Scherzer and DeGrom.
Scherzer pitching great for his age, man. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, although the Yankees beat him. DeGrom is number 1, Scherzer. Verlander's number 2, which Verlander is going to win a Cy Young at what, 38 years old, 39 years old?
He had a no-hitter against the Twins 2 nights ago.
Yeah. Scherzer is 3rd, Max Fried is 4th, and Alex Manoah from the Toronto is 5, which I don't see him as being very dominant as an ace.
You see that Lopez guy from the Marlins is struggling. I'm so happy the Yankees didn't trade for him. And also that Hader guy that got traded from the Brewers.
Struggling.
Where the heck did he get traded to again? The Padres? Padres. He's got a 10 ERA in like the past 6 games he came in.
Padres are a mess, man. They're right now they're a wild card team, but they're about to fall out. I mean, Soto hasn't been playing. They have that whatchamacallit guy that got busted for drugs.
Tatis Jr.
Yeah, and they're just falling apart.
And Hader, they gave him like a leave of absence, more or less. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they said we're not closing you anymore. You're just gonna come in the game during the game now. Like you need to figure it out.
Hardest hit baseball since 2015 was just top. John Carlos Stanton had the top 5 hardest hits in baseball for the longest time.
Of course.
It was passed by O'Neal Cruz, the shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates, at a 122.4 speed.
I watched it, man. It went fast.
The highest previous hit was 122.2 miles an hour by John Carlos Stanton, who had the top 5.
Pirates got something going, man. Some of these young guys they got.
Dude, what is he? 6'7" shortstop?
I think he's if not taller than Judge, he's as tall as Judge.
Yeah.
Really?
And he plays shortstop.
Yeah. Julio Rodriguez for Seattle becomes the fastest player in MLB history to record 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in a season. That kid is just an ace. He's tearing it up out there in freaking
they do list
Seattle.
6'7". Yeah,
and
Julio
Ace and
Rodriguez is locked up for Rookie of the Year. Oh, go ahead.
Ace and I talked about this on Discord. Cleveland Guardians, the youngest team in baseball at an average age of 26, is ranks first in most categories in baseball right now. They are on a hot streak. Strikeout percentage, they are at 18.3. That is first in the MLB. Contact percentage is 80.9, which is first in baseball. Zone contact percentage is 87.9, which is first. Outside the zone contact is 70.9 and is first. And they're doing it with hits and not home runs. Old classic baseball, which I love.
Hey, the Yankees have been pulling out old classic baseball with these bunts lately.
And that is your Around the Horn session. Now we could talk about the Yankees and the disgusting play they've been doing lately. And
they're on a 3-game winning streak, so let's talk about something that's good. You know, I love that we have called up some of these young guys to,
had to injuries.
Giancarlo Stanton's coming back tonight, so I'm excited to see that. But Cabrera seems like it brings a little swagger to the team, playing outfield, third base, shortstop, second base. IKF isn't bad. I think he's batting like 265. He just isn't a home run hitter. He's not a slugger. DJ's still batting it well. It's Rizzo and Donaldson Hicks, man. They haven't really been.
And Judge.
Well, Judge still batting at 294. He's still doing his.
He was, but he was in a 4 for 32 slump.
I'll tell you who I'm really liking is Andrew Benintendi. He's still batting amazing. He's been very clutch lately. Trevino's still batting high in the 200s, and he's still catching a good game. We just lost Nestor Cortez to a groin injury, so hopefully that isn't long because that came at the most terrible time you could probably get injured at.
The thing that disturbs me is it's not the Yankees in a whole, it's the organization. And Ace and I talked about this. The Steinbrenner kids. I know everyone wants to blame Cashman for everything. Cashman is not the problem. Cashman can only do what the owners allow him to do. That Jordan Montgomery trade was horrible. Since we traded him for an outfielder who probably might not even play this year. And Jordan Montgomery has a .039 ERA since he's been traded.
That was he was a great 5 ERA.
anyway,
here.
but
He's like 6-0 or something like that. Like he's
Under
going
one
off with
is ridiculous.
he's going off with a chip on his shoulder right now.
but
But at the same time, I'm not. Again, I agree. I wish we didn't trade him, but that wasn't the Jordan Montgomery we had though. If you look at his last starts, like he was struggling bad.
he wasn't
And
struggling every time he.
Cardinals-
Go ahead.
Cardinals have great pitching like staffs, notorious. Like
Yeah, like Jordan Montgomery, like sure, like I loved having him, but he wasn't.
He didn't
that,
struggle.
that wasn't him. That's not what we had out of Jordan Montgomery though.
That's not true. If you look at when Jordan Montgomery pitched, we never drove in runs for him. We never gave him a lead. He should have been 4-0 in the beginning of the season, and they never produced runs for him.
But he still
That was the problem.
Didn't though. He didn't have a .35 ERA going 6-0 with us though.
His ERA was barely 3. He was one of our best pitchers at one point. The Yankees just the problem with the Yankees is we lead the MLB in home runs, but we dropped almost down to 20th in hits. We either hit home runs or strike out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the NL has way superior pitching in general. I think one of those teams is going to win. They're going to.
I agree. I agree. I don't think we should have traded him. But what I'm saying is what he's doing in St. Louis is not the same guy we have. I'm not saying he was bad with us. He was good with us, right? But what he's doing in St. Louis, that is not what we had. I mean, 6-0 with a .35 ERA. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, but I'd have to see when he starts. What's the score of those games? Are they producing runs for him?
I mean, like .35 ERA, he ain't giving up any. I can tell you that.
But I'm just saying the Yankees in a whole.
But a mindset too, though, when you are pitching with a lot like lead or not, and the Cardinals
absolutely.
have a great offense.
100%, 100%. And again, I regret trading him. I didn't like that trade. I don't think anyone liked that trade. I mean, I think the guy we have is good, right? But it's like, when's he going to be on the field? Like you said,
he has a .245 batting average. It's not like we got a freaking stellar.
No, he's a contact guy. He's an Andrew Benintendi, but he can steal you 20 bases, and he's a Gold Glove outfield.
Anyway, the Yankees have been blessed with the first half. The Yankees had 23 come from behind wins, which gave us a huge lead. We had a huge lead over Houston. We had a huge lead over second place in the East. That all is gone. The thing about the Yankees is we went 8-21 before this 3-game win streak. We were the worst team in baseball record-wise. We had a 1.74 average with players in scoring position. We had the 6th worst ERA since the All-Star break for our starting pitchers. That's the problem. The Yankees, I don't hate the Yankees. I love the Yankees. I don't like how we're building the Yankees. When you accumulate all these power hitters that give you 20, 30 home runs a year, but strike out a lot, they flame out. Power hitters are known to flame out, and they can get in lows and lows. We've seen it with Rizzo. We've seen it with Stanton. And we've seen it with Judge. They can go in a freaking 2-for-40 slump in a heartbeat. That's the thing that kills teams like this. You can't. The names are great. The home runs are great. That's the new baseball. But that's not what's going to win you a World Series. No. I'm sorry. When you look at the Yankees compared, and I tried to explain this in text, and you can't explain in text. When you look at the Yankees compared to Houston, Houston has a dominant starting rotation. That Alvarez guy.
That's the one team.
That pitcher that you were talking about the other day, Alvarez, whatever his name is, that guy has 31 starts this year that just basically are great starts. It's just he's producing numbers that guys on our Yankee teams aren't doing it. And I'm not saying I hate the Yankees. I'm just saying, as a realist, I don't see the Yankees as a World Series team. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have wins and we were the best in stats for this, and this.
It does kind of seem like the Astros.
Yeah, the Astros are a tough team.
Well, it seems like the only team that really could come out of the AL. Honestly.
Astros can always get cold right before playoffs too.
Yeah, but the pitching staff is too good. I just think they have 3 or 4.
How's their bullpen?
Really good starters.
Dude, they're solid.
I don't care. I don't care about their bullpen.
The Astros are 8-2 in their last 10. We're 4-6 in our last 10. They're solid. We went from having a 4-game lead on the Astros to now we spun that. We're 4 games behind the Astros.
Like I said the other day, I really don't care about the Astros right now because I'm so tired. No, I'm not saying that I don't. Right? We're so used to just being a wild card team. I'm still focused on let's just win the division first and see what happens after that. You know what I mean? Like we still have a lead in the division. I want to be able to have a playoff game where it's 3 out of 5 and not win or go home. Because I still, you say this isn't a World Series team, right? I mean, you can say about every single team. You can. Right?
That's not true.
My
That's not
thing,
true.
my
There's
thing
teams-
is, let me
there's
finish.
teams
Let me
that-
finish.
no,
Let me
there's-
finish.
There's teams that stand
My
out. Ty.
my thing is, and as a coach, you can easily see this and say this, is when you
Absolutely
get to
right.
when you get to the playoffs, it's a completely different game. Look at the Giants. How many times did they win the World Series being the wild card team? You know what I mean? Like anything can happen in the playoffs.
But let me tell you something.
And I
Since
agree
you-
with you. I agree the
listen, let me
Yankees
tell you
have
something.
problems right now, right?
Let me
Their
tell you
pitching is
something.
struggling. Their hitting
There we go.
struggling.
This is how he does. He talks over you.
No, you talked. I'm talking now. I agree with you, right? The Yankees have problems. Absolutely. They're getting the 3-game win streak. Hopefully this turns around. Montez looks like he's getting comfortable now, right? Obviously, the Jordan Montgomery trade sucked, right? We just had guys in the cold tree. That sucked, but we brought some young guys up. It looks like we're starting to get in the fire again. Hopefully it turns around. I mean, we called this in the beginning that the Yankees were going to hit a roadblock eventually, and they hit a roadblock hard. I mean, their August record, they had like 6 or 8 wins, and it was terrible.
Let me ask you something. Since we've been doing this podcast, I have said things that have come right. I said Boston wasn't going to make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs.
Here we go.
I said, listen to me. Seriously. I said Washington. When Washington was 19-31, I said Washington is going to win the World Series. And I said they have the best pitching.
last year.
A couple years ago, I said they have the best pitching staff in the MLB. They're going to put it together. They're going to win the World Series. What they do? They won the World Series. I'm not saying the Yankees suck. I'm just saying the Yankees have too many power hitters that flame out and get cold fast. Donaldson does it. Gleyber Torres does it. Stanton does it. Judge does it. Rizzo does it.
Donaldson was cold all year. Let's be real.
But
Donaldson
I'm
was
just
cold all
saying,
year.
Donaldson is
Stanton was
Donaldson's a
playing
great
great.
defensive player. But I'm telling
we
you,
gave you that worthless contract of his. They can't
you-
pay Judge because they're paying the rest of Donaldson's contract.
yeah, dude. If you look at teams like Tampa Bay, teams like Toronto, teams like the Astros, they're not built on power hitting. Sure, they have Vlad Guerrero, but they got Bichette, and they got all these other guys that would drive in runs. That's the thing that people forget about baseball. The home runs aren't going to win you all these games to get to the World Series. It's clutch hitting. I'll take clutch hitting over home runs and fancy 450 whatever yard freaking home runs any day. And a pitching staff. The Yankees do not have a pitching staff that I trust. I don't trust James Talion. I don't trust Nestor Cruz. I don't even trust Cole.
You don't trust Nestor Cortez, who has one of the best ERAs in the league?
2.68. That's great. But look at most of the games when he pitched. We scored a ton of runs for him. I would not. I don't trust. I don't trust Garrett Cole. He's already shown in big games he can't handle the pressure.
The reason I get so mad at this debate with you and over text is because I just feel like no matter what, the Yankees can't do anything to make you happy, right? And the reason it makes me so mad is because when we were the best team in baseball, right, we had the best ERA, as our pitchers were the best pitchers in the league. We had one of the best lineups in the game, right? Nobody was hot. Nobody was cold. Everybody's hot. Wasn't good enough for you. No. Wait, let me finish. You point out the flaw, saying this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And it's happening, right? But in that moment, right, you couldn't just be like, you know what, right? We have a good team, right? And in this moment we're in now, rather than saying, this is what needs to be done, this is what needs to be done, it's just like, this is why we suck, this is why we suck, this is why we're not going to go to the World Series, this is why we're not going to go to the playoffs. I still believe this is a good team, right? You still have good pitch on this team. You still have a good bullpen on this team. Sure, we have home run hitters who got cold. They're starting to get hot. We still have good contact hitters in DJ LeMahieu, Isaiah IKF, and Andrew Benintendi. Those are good contact hitters. Trevino.
But you're not understanding something. And this is the whole point of it. It's not a matter of the Yankees you're right. The Yankees were the best team in baseball.
You never
but no, that's not true. You're a fan. I look at things deeper, Ty, and that could be because I coach baseball, whatever. And I know I didn't coach college and I didn't coach the pros. But when you look at the Yankees and you look at teams like Houston and you look at what they have, it's a whole different team. You have James Talion, who gave up 6 runs in a game in 6 consecutive games. You trust that in the playoffs? You have Garrett Cole, who's supposed to be getting all this big money, but you can't trust him without giving home runs up in several games in a row and getting blown out in games. But you need him to shine. He's known. He's the James Harden of MLB. He doesn't pitch in great like the playoffs. He blew it first last year. These are the things I'm not being negative towards the Yankees. I hope they win 7 World Series in a row. But I'm sorry, as a fan, I see further into it. I break things down. I look at other teams to see what they have, what the Yankees lack. And you're right. You said it yourself. I was right. I said the Yankees, when they were at the best team in baseball, they're going to be a wild card team.
Everyone gets cold.
Listen to me. And it's not just luck. They went from a 15-game lead. It's cut down to 7. And guess what? They got to play Tampa Bay again in a couple of weeks. They lose that
I think
series.
it's back up to 9 now.
No, it's 7. I'm looking right at it. If you go and you lose 3 games to Tampa Bay, guess what? It's down to 4. And you got to play these teams again. I'm just saying, I love the Yankees. I hate the organization behind the Yankees. I hate the Steinbrenners. You should have grown up in an era when George Steinbrenner wanted a guy, he would go spend that money in a blink of an eye because there's no salary cap in baseball. It's not that I hate the Yankees. I'm just a fan where I break it down and I look at it. I hope they win 7 World Series in a row. I really do. But with this organization, when you build a team around power hitters, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you
that's
give
hard
me,
to win.
and I keep saying this. You give me 9 DJ LeMayhews with a great pitching staff, and I'll take you to the playoffs and the World Series almost every year.
You can't ask for perfect. You can't ask for perfect.
You're
team.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And I think playoffs is a different story. That's all I'm saying.
Let's.
All right, that's my
let's hit
rant.
the outro. Yeah, that was a good little rant.
He's like, we need to go.
No.
I need to finish cutting the grass.
Let's real quick talk about the Twins. They're now
I don't
4
want
games.
to. I seriously don't care. I really am sick of their. Just as you were, I don't want to start ranting about the Twins. They're embarrassing to watch. They lose to the teams they're supposed to lose to, and then they lose to the teams they're not supposed to lose to the last couple weeks. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, right now
I have nothing. I really have nothing to say about them. That's how.
You know what's crazy?
It's Correa's home to. It's his reunion back in Houston. Carlos Correa is getting a nice little welcome ovation as they go to sweep the Twins tonight.
Although he did say he can come back. He said he could see himself as a Twin.
I think he'll stay. There's so many issues, and we have a lot of front office issues as well. The Twins. I don't know what's amazing though? Off the bandwagon, but a few years ago I burned my Vikings stuff just to set a precedence. I might be doing that with the Twins here, me and my buddies, because this is embarrassing to watch.
You know what's amazing in the AL?
They don't play hard. Like Ty, when you know going into a game, they're probably going to lose 2 out of 3 to the Astros or likely get swept. You don't even have to watch the games. You know how the results are. It's frustrating.
Yeah,
they don't try.
You know, and one more thing, the thing that concerns me about both the Twins and the Yankees, the road record's horrible. The Yankees are barely over 500 on the road. The Twins are under 500 on the road. That's the difference. That is the difference between being an elite team and a mediocre team. And these are all the things I look at. I mean, your good teams are good at home and on the road. And the Yankees, unfortunately, aren't that. And you got to go. Let's face it. Even if the Yankees play Houston, you got to go to Houston. Those are the games you got to win. You got to take 1 of 2 in Houston. And right now, the number 1 seed is the most important thing. And you don't want to start a series in Houston.
No, not at all. Honestly, the good news is with us, we're good no matter where we are. Home, road, neutral. You can listen to us anywhere.
But the thing is we got that September push coming. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast and these lovely rants that we've given you. And hopefully you got the best fantasy football advice in your life. To those cutting grass, enjoy it. Grab a beer, enjoy our voices, and we hope to see you guys next time.